All right, so it looks like a few of you have made it. I'm sure some other stragglers will be coming in soon. I'm Clare Carmody. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for OneSpare. Thank you for joining us today. As you can see on your screen, we are talking about OneSpare for Innkeepers today. So our platform does work with all different types of hospitality businesses, but specifically B&Bs and inns are a big deal right now, and we'll kind of go into why and how we can, help out your property with getting some extra promotion, getting some extra revenue, and some other things as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see here. There we go. So a little bit about us. We were founded in 2011, and like I mentioned, we work with a variety of hospitality businesses, and we also work with nonprofits. We are essentially a website that connects the two. Nonprofits, they will come into the website, we'll verify that they're a 501c, and they will have the ability to peruse hundreds of different travel experiences from around the world and the US, and to select those experiences to promote and then eventually sell at their auction to raise money. Now for hospitality partners, on the other end, this is a great way for them to create a package that they want to get promoted. We ensure that you actually get a return on the packages you sell, which is unique to our platform and unlike what exists, in the normal market today. And we also will give you back the data on your winning bidders, your customers, how you're promoted, and all different types of things that you can use, in your marketing. So I'll kind of, with that, move forward. We had talked about, oh, yes, we work with 12,000 nonprofits. There's a little tidbit for you. So we had talked about, in my email to you about how today, in the kind of pandemic times, things have certainly changed. And, people are taking, weekend getaways, staycations, things that are drivable and close by, because people don't want to get on a plane. It's, it's a little scary in today's environment. So I pulled some sales data for you all. So this is our numbers that our company had for the past year. And I'm comparing that to the 2019, the year before the pandemic, pre-pandemic. You can see from the graph on the right, the first, it kind of shows a split, about half and half international packages sold compared to US packages. Actually, a little bit more international. You can see 53% there. And then compared to this year during the pandemic, our packages that have sold are primarily domestic only. You can see 91% of our US packages sold versus just 8.7 international. So that certainly indicates there's a change in travel patterns, a change in customer buying behavior as people at these auctions that are these bidders, they do not want to go international, they want to stay home. What's specifically interesting for the B&Bs is you can see in the third bullet here, 50% of the packages that we sold that were from the US were for B&Bs or inns, which says a lot. A lot of people want to go to a smaller property that they can trust is going to be clean, where they have a unique relationship, with the owner. They feel safe, it's nearby. So B&Bs are a really great place to go during this time, and we are seeing that, throughout as the months go by. So now we'll move forward into, why OneSpare, especially given these times where things might be a little different, things might be a little hard, especially you might not have extra marketing budget to, promote your B&B, but yet you do need the customers. So we'll go into how we can benefit you. First is that promotion piece. So obviously we'll be able to, upload your videos, your photos, the package you want to promote. You'll get in front of hundreds of different nonprofit auction audiences. Those people will all see, your marketing and your package. Secondly, of course, moving up to customer leads, when someone buys your package, you get that lead in your account. It has the winning bidder's name, contact information. You can use that, to put them into your marketing, have them receive your newsletter. And you could also, if you would like to be proactive, you could go ahead and reach out and say, hey, saw you bought your package at the auction. When do you want to come stay? You don't have to do that because we give the redemption instructions to them to call you to book. However, some people like to be proactive and contact the customer first. Geo-targeting. So we talked about how drive market is important. People want to do, drivable getaways. With our platform, we have the ability to geo-target. So what that means is you're accessible to everyone, but we specifically give extra promotion within your driving distance radius. So any nonprofit event that has customers within that drivable radius, we're going to make sure that they see your package. And that way you're going to get those relevant customers into your door. Next, moving on to revenue. So with our system, we're special in that we do let you, we actually share the profits with the nonprofit. So it's not that all the money is going directly back to the nonprofit. You actually get, it's a split, so you get the other part of that. I'll go into kind of the mechanics of how that works in the next couple of slides, but this is something that most of our partners, the reason they join is this reason. Lastly, streamlined requests. So if you don't get donation requests, no big deal. You can still use our platform to get in front of thousands of audiences, to use the geo-targeting, get revenue. If you have requests from charities that you often get, we allow you to streamline those. So we give you a custom link. If the charity calls you or emails you, you can give them that link, and that's unique to you. So that link they'll log in using it, and when they are verified by us as a 501c, they get immediate access to your package. And that way, it's just a simple transaction. When all of that data comes back to you when it's sold, it's all kept in one place with everything else. So I will move forward. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will pause and make sure that I go through the chat questions later, so feel free to put those in there. All right, so the promotion piece, we did mention this a little bit already. We do only work with 501cs, so you know that the nonprofits we work with are going to be legitimate. They're the only ones allowed access to the site. Those are the only ones that are going to promote you. Again, we'll be using all your photos and marketing materials, and that's something you have control over as well. You'll be able to see how they're used. Majority of the time, nonprofits will do promotion pre-event as well. So they'll do, Facebook and say, hey, donors, here's an exciting package, come to our event and bid on it. So you'll get a lot of promotion as far as not even just at the event itself, but before. And then, of course, just as far as our whole network, we do work with thousands of events. We estimate, based on the average event size, that you'll essentially be able to get in front of 900,000 customers as a potential. Okay. All right. Move forward. Let's see if I can do that here. Yes. So we mentioned drive market. So this is that visual here. We are able to geo-target and to make sure you're getting in front of your drive market within 250 miles, which is about a 4-hour driving distance. Now, some of our B&Bs ask the question, well, I also, I'm a B&B in California and I get customers from New York. Am I not going to get in front of them? Well, you will, because you're accessible to anyone on the site, any nonprofit on the site. But we give extra promotion to the drive market because we know that's so valuable right now. And that's where the majority of your customers will be coming from currently. All right, so next is the customer leads. I mentioned this earlier. This is just an example you can see of what it would actually look like in the account. Each certificate gets a unique ID number. So you can see on the left-hand side here, you see the name of the certificate, whether or not the check has been sent yet. We send a check immediately when it's sold, and so you receive that within like 7 to 10 days of the sale. You can see the nonprofit event name. You can see the winning bidder's name, and also that is a link in your account to their email. that you can use however you'd like. And then, of course, how much it sold for, how much you received. So you can keep kind of a running accounting of what you've received from us. And we also give you a total here of how much you've received over time. Then lastly, the mark is redeemed. So when someone does call and they want to redeem their package, you can mark it redeemed and they won't be able to use it again. All right, so the big question is the revenue. So lots of people I know typically have questions about this. So it's a revenue share, as I mentioned. So you receive 50% of the winning bid and the nonprofit receives the other 50%. You can see on the package on the right, it says vacation package. If this is an example, the retail value was 2,000 and your winning bid was 1,600, then in this case, you receive 8 and the nonprofit receives 8. You also get to set and control a minimum bid. So the package that you promote, it'll never sell for $20 or something crazy. You can set, say your package is 500, you can set the minimum bid for 350 and it'll never sell until it reaches that. That way you can guarantee you're going to get a certain amount back every time or more, if the winning bid happens to be more. You can set dates, so blackout dates, valid dates. Majority of our partners use this for off-season or weekdays. If you wanted to, you could say valid November through March, dead of winter. You could say, shoulder seasons only, weekday, you could say like April through May and then September through October, weekdays only. You can get pretty restrictive depending on, where your vacancies are typically in a year. It is a 12-month expiration, so that's kind of your time frame. So just you would be mindful of that. The fourth bullet point here that you can see, it says breakage will occur. And what that means is that, if the customer buys it at the event, buys the package, and then 12 months goes by, they forget to use it, well, that's actually a benefit to you. It expires for them, they can't use it. But since you receive your check from us up front, you get to keep that money no matter what. So that just ends up being free money for you if they never come. And you can use that, obviously that goes into whatever resources you want it to go toward. But, this actually usually happens about 20% of the time. So you can, in your mind, you can kind of say, okay, well, 20% of my sales, I'm just gonna get to pocket, which is pretty great, especially because as I mentioned, there's no charge from us. We're a free platform. I'll get into that in a minute as how that works. But that is, it's just money to you. All right, so this is a little detail on the streamlined requests. I mentioned that, again, if you don't get requests from charities, no big deal. This doesn't apply to you. If you do, then this is just a great tool to save time. So you would get a link from us, custom link. You would put it on your website, as you can see here. If you don't want to put it on your website, that's okay. You can just send the nonprofit the link via email, and that works too. They will log in, they'll get this little note, they'll set up their account, and then we verify they're a 501c, and then they go and get immediate access to your package that they can promote. So it's a pretty easy way to save time. All right, so we are free. This is, a lot of people ask, how does this work? Are you a for-profit company? And yes, we are. We are compensated on the nonprofit side. So this allows us to be free for you. We just send you checks, we give you promotion, give you data. On the nonprofit end, they're allowed to use the platform for free. They're allowed to promote the packages for free. But when they do start selling packages, that's when we charge a service fee. So the model works well. We have, over 12,000 nonprofits so far and counting. So they do see value in the fact that they're getting a lot more from the sales than they would otherwise, because the packages we offer are that much better. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides. All right, so let me check. Are there any questions in the chat? Let's see here. I don't know if I can see any of those. I'm not able to see the chat for some reason. So in that case, if you do have questions, we will have to figure out how to do that in a minute. So let me move on. Please take note of your questions, and you're welcome to email me them as well. Sorry, but I'm not sure why I don't have access to it. Either way, so yeah, so this is what your dashboard would look like. So you can see the little logo here of Enriquez Estate Wines, she's a vineyard and B&B. She was one of our first B&B partners, actually about almost 2 years ago now. So we broke into the B&B space relatively recently. And let's see, so yes, so these are her details, the custom link we talked about, custom request donation URL, the data about the events, the data about the winning bidders, that's all here within active certificates. And then the certificate inventory, this is where you would actually build that package. You'd click edit here, you'd go in and you'd list your dates, your minimum bid, your retail value, restrictions, all of that stuff, which is something that I can help you with. Sometimes it can be, a little overwhelming, so I'm happy to do that with you. And then lastly, you can do last minute certificates. So if you have a last minute opening or vacancy, you can post that. These, I wouldn't say always sell, just because last minute is hard to do when it comes to nonprofit events and the timing. However, there is no harm in putting one out there and seeing if it sells, and if it does, great. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute, and I'm going to go into a real live account here, the Enriquez Estate Wines. And this is the one that we just looked at. So it should be familiar. Okay, so now you should be seeing the new screen of the real live account. This is Enriquez Estate Wines. You can see this big green box here, which wasn't there before in the screenshot. This says it has 16 valid certificates awaiting redemption. This means that these are new certificates that have recently sold. If we go in to this, it's taking a minute, there we go. We can see each one has that unique ID number for when the customer calls to book. You can see that all the checks have been sent. You can see the nonprofit organization, the event name, this is that winning bidder, and this is that link to their email. You can see that. And then how much it sold for and how much received. This is her total she's received since starting with us. She's, being in California, had some hiccups with fires and various things, but she's done very well. She definitely has quite a draw, being that she's also a vineyard, of course. Let's go back here. All right, so let's go into these active certificates so you can see the data. So we want to view the events that are upcoming. So these are all the events that she will be promoted in. Looks like the furthest one out is July right now. This changes every day. So tomorrow she may have 2 more events that she's going to be promoted in. So this is just something that you can look at. You can, we actually are adding a field here to show how many attendees are at each event. So that'll be there soon. You can see kind of the number of attendees you're in front of as well. And then you can see the past events she's been in, and this is a running list that is there forever. So it's kind of a lot. She has a second page as well. So she's gotten a lot of promotion out of us. And then if you want to look at total revenue, so we looked at the new certificates from the green box. If you want to see all certificates over time, which are ones that have also been redeemed and all of that, this would be that list. So it's the new ones plus the redeemed ones and the expired ones. Now, we talked about expired earlier. All these expired ones are certificates that she has gotten money for, but the customer can no longer book. This is money she's just pocketed because the customer didn't come. I mean, this is all great extra revenue for her, all these. All right, let's go back here. Lastly, I'm going to go into the certificate itself, and we can review kind of what that entails. So of course you have your headline, it's similar to like a listing you would put, if you have a listing on, VRBO or something like that. But there are a few little nuances given that it's a nonprofit auction. So here, you can put your valid dates. So she's saying it's wide open. That is unique. Most of our partners have November through March, or so kind of like an off-season window, or they say valid weekdays only, and leave it at that. So options here for sure. You can add your blackout dates. She's left it open again, so blackout dates may apply. This gives her some flexibility. However, if you already know, you're not going to book them over Christmas, you're not going to book them over Thanksgiving, definitely add that so that there's no, confusion, or it just prevents issues if you already know that's going to be the case. There is that 12-month expiration date. This is our default. If you'd like to do 9 months or 18, that's awesome. You're welcome to. Obviously, we'll keep her at 12 since this is a live account, but that is the primary expiration. Number of nights, number of bedrooms here, occupancy per room. The retail value, so this would include taxes. It's also, you would put here your highest published rate during your valid dates. So if it was valid November through March, you would put, the highest rates that you would charge during that time, and include taxes. That way, you don't know when the customer is going to request dates or come. So that way you're covered. Whether they book a low rate day or a high rate day, you're always charging the high rate, you're always listing the high rate. And that way you're always going to get, a high enough amount for you to cover it. The minimum bid, she has 800 here, which is kind of a low minimum bid for this amount. She certainly could go higher here and still be attractive. But again, this is all up to you. You always get half this amount or more. So kind of determine, what do you need to cover your costs? So it looks like here she would be getting at least 400. If you needed more, or she needed more in this case, she could raise it to 1,000 and start getting back 500 or more. So let's see here. She's added 24 per year, so that means that it's a max. It's not a definite. So we're not promising we'll sell 24, but we are not going to sell over 24. And this is to ensure that we don't overbook you. So for example, if you gave us, if you listed valid dates in November through March, well, if you don't want to list, 300 packages, because then you might not have availability anymore after a certain amount are sold from November through March. So yeah, so list how many you think would you'd be able to accommodate, and that would make sense for you given the revenue. All right. Allow more than one of these to be sold at an event. Basically, if there's 2 bidders and they really, really both want it, this allows them to each one to have one. So your check will be double the amount instead of, which is always a good thing. So if you're looking for revenue, selling 2 at one event is a good idea. You can list, all of these are the inclusions. So if you want to say two nights plus breakfast, if you have really cool amenities, definitely list those out. People love amenities, I'm sure you know. And so it really just increases, the perceived value. Whatever you can add in here that's included in the stay, please do. The info for auctioneer, so this is just additional info that's really cool. So if you have a testimonial, kind of like she has here, if you have awards, if you have just some extra details about, maybe you have some type of additional services that even if they're paid, well, list those out. Those are really neat. People might want to pay for those. And so this is a great place to add that. All right, I'll list down to the end here. Video link, great to have. If you have some type of video about your property, definitely add it. B&Bs love video, or sorry, nonprofits love videos. They will use it at their event. They will use it on their Facebook. So certainly add a video if you have it. And then redemption instructions. So right here, she has email her. A lot of people do call, they prefer a call. It's up to you which one you prefer. You know, that doesn't matter to us as long as you're comfortable with how the redemption process goes. These are all the photos that she uploaded. Again, I can help you with any of this and all of this. And that is the end. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Okay. So now that is essentially the dashboard in a nutshell. The biggest piece is, of course, that certificate. So if any of you are interested in, moving forward and trying this out, which you certainly can do, we're free. You're welcome to try it out for a short period of time. If it doesn't work, that's totally fine. Just let us know. We'll stop. We'll stop the account. But if you'd like to try, the first step would be we'd create the certificate. I would give you, I would create the account for you, give you the certificate kind of instructions, and then you'd build that out. I'd review it, and then when you're ready, then I'd turn the account on, and that's it. The system starts promoting you, and everything happens from there. So that would be, next steps. That I will send actually in a follow-up to you guys. I'll send the recording of this as well as presentation, and then you can just, let me know if you would like to, try it out and see if it's something that works for you. Again, there's no contract. So if you want to try it, that's totally fine. I actually will mention there is, you can see this participation agreement here. This is the only thing that we have that's any type of agreement per se. What it is it'll be a click-through agreement. So when you log into the account for the first time, it'll pop up, and it'll essentially, it's a one page. And the biggest thing is, if you want to cancel, give us written notice. And then 2, please honor any certificates that were previously sold. We just don't want to leave any customers hanging. So if there's a special case and maybe the B&B, has burned down, I mean, if there's anything like that, we will totally work with you and figure out a solution. But otherwise, we do ask that you honor those previously sold certificates. Any future ones obviously don't happen because we'll cancel the account. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint really quickly, and I'm going to leave you with my contact information. And that way, you are welcome to contact me if you'd like, if you have more questions, if you would like to, do the demo specifically for you. And I can, I can build out a certificate for your B&B, and we can go it line by line if you'd like. So yeah, it's really how you'd like to, go from here. Please let me know. So these are my contact details, and I will try one more time to see if I can see any of your chats. I'm not sure why I'm not able to see it. That is very odd. So, okay. All right. And then I actually did want to leave. I had one poll for you guys. If you would, it would be helpful to know why you're here today. So if you could just reply and let me know, what's the primary reason you joined, that would be really helpful for us. Obviously, we have a variety of different benefits, but if there's one particular one that you feel like was most compelling, let me know. All right. Well, thank you again. And I will also, like I mentioned, I will send this recording via email to everyone. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully you guys want to try it out, and I look forward to hearing back. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.